If you want your car to do a proper skid, you need 2 wheels spinning, maybe even 4, but definitely not 1. I've just come to the end of this massive Toyota Hilux build, and so in this episode, we are going to make an LSD, because then we're going to the dyno and then we're going to skid. So we're going to learn about how they work. I'm going to assemble one myself with a professional, and maybe, just maybe, and by maybe I mean definitely, you're going to see a skid at the end of this video. Oh, and by the way, we've got all new Boosty Boy t-shirts available right now in black, plus they're double-sided, upgraded, and available right now. There's a link down below, grab yours and we'll ship it to you anywhere in the world. We've just finished a full conversion of an old Toyota Hilux, including a turbocharged ethanol-fueled 2TR engine, alongside with suspension, clutch, gearbox exhaust, ECU and brake upgrades, which leaves the antique differential still needing some love, so I'm heading down to a special place in South Sydney to get that fixed. And today I'm going to be working with Frank, owner of this shop and a specialist in gearboxes and differentials, who's been at this game for many years. Now, to get you up to speed, a diff is basically a mechanical brain between your wheels. When you go around a corner, the inside wheel travels a shorter distance than the outside wheel, and if both wheels were locked together, you'd just be slipping and scrubbing around the corner like a P-plate of flog. A working diff fixes that by using a set of gears that let each wheel spin at slightly different speeds while still sending drive to both. But an open diff like what's in my Hilux has one big flaw. You see, if one wheel loses grip, like in the snow or during a skid, it just spins up and steals all the power. And that's why people fit an LSD, a limited slip diff, which keeps power going to both wheels, which is way better for performance. So today my plan is to assemble my own diff for the Hilux. So I am down here at Gearbox Express. This is Frank. He's very, very busy, but he's kindly agreed to teach me today how to build a diff. The shop looks great. How long have you been here, mate?
Thank you, mate. I got here about 7 o'clock this morning.
Okay, and how long have you had the shop?
In total, 24 years.
24 years?
24 years.
And so what is your specialty here? What is it that you do?
We focus on manual gearboxes, mostly driveline stuff, so differentials, transfer cases and manual gearboxes.
So what are we going to be doing today?
Well, we're going to get your diff, take out the shitty one-legger and install a true track in it. It'll divide the drive between both wheels and give you more forward motion and longer two-wheel burnouts.
So let's imagine for a second that I'm a piece of corn and I've just got turned into some ethanol. I'm now in the fuel tank of my Hilux. I'm getting blasted down those fuel lines through a fuel filter. I'm getting blasted by the injectors. You get the idea. It goes kablamo. The power is then going from the gearbox down into the tail shaft. It's going down here. That's spinning this way, which then sends drive to both wheels. So why can't I do a 2-wheel skid?
Because you have an open centre in here, if we look in the centre there, we can see the 4 planetary gears turning individually.
They're also known as spider gears,
spider
right?
Gears,
Why
correct.
are they called spider gears? Is it because they look creepy?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Okay.
So and if the one lands on your back, you probably shit yourself. So these allow speed variances in the vehicle when you're turning, and that's why they can turn individually like that. But what happens when you're driving and one wheel gets caught up or has less traction, so the pinion still turns, one side is driving, and this side here is stationary.
So at this point, we're basically mimicking a burnout, but only one wheel spinning. And so my question to you, Frank, is what's wrong with that?
A shit one-wheel burnout, and no one wants those.
So how do we turn it into a 2-wheel burnout?
Well, we throw that in the bin.
Okay.
And we install a true track. This is a worm-driven LSD, which distributes torque evenly to both wheels.
Yep.
As soon as you plant the throttle.
Now, a worm-driven LSD is different to a clutch pack LSD, right?
Correct, yes. So in this one, there's no friction materials. It's purely just all mechanical and just works on spreading the load between all the gears to distribute the torque.
So obviously we keep all of this housing.
Correct, yep.
How do we actually make that fit in that? Because it looks like a lot of metal to go into not a whole lot of space.
No, correct. Well, what we're going to do now, my young apprentice, is going to tear this down. You.
Oh, sorry, yes.
You're going to tear this down. You are going to clean it. Then we're going to reassemble it with new bearings and we're going to put the new hemisphere in it.
I'm so excited.
Let's go.
Thanks for having us down.
Mate, a pleasure. Welcome.
This is awesome.
Thank
Have you
you
seen our show before?
once or twice.
What's your favourite builds or cars been over the years?
The BMW is
yeah?
the highlight, yeah, with the LS. I'm a big LS fan.
Yep.
As you've seen over there with my engine on the stand.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, so mainly all the V8 stuff, but I do appreciate any modified vehicle. There, mate, as long as someone's got a passion for it, mate, I'm into it, it's good.
The first job is to strip down my old diff so I can throw most of it in the bin. This process is going to start with me stamping the metal with some matching symbols so I know exactly which way to put it back together again. Frank is a wealth of information after doing this for over 20 years. I've installed a few diffs in cars, but I've never actually assembled the internals of one, so this is my first time and I am pretty excited. One of Frank's workshop hacks is using these metal baskets, which are usually used in restaurants for cooking. This keeps the parts organised, you can stack them on top of each other, plus when it comes time to clean all these small fiddly parts, they can stay in the basket so you don't lose anything. Absolute genius. So when I bought this car, it's only done about 100,000 Ks.
Okay.
I imagine though, how often are these serviced?
The diff sometimes by the book and sometimes never.
Okay.
Depends on who owns the vehicle.
So is there any way of knowing what kind of condition this is in now?
Well, usually the oil will be putrid if it's never been changed, but you would have serviced it anyway, didn't you?
Yes.
So that's, yeah. But in saying that, the bearings do feel quite smooth. So if we really wanted to, we could run it again with these bearings in it. I might actually just open it and double check,
yep,
and maybe at least put a pinion seal in it,
yep,
and we'll go from there. So next we need to strip the crown wheel off this hemisphere.
What we're using from this is this?
Yep.
And
that's it.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Just using the crown wheel only.
And then that crown wheel goes onto this?
Correct.
And then that goes into there?
Yes.
And then that's
So this is replacing that.
I think it's incredible that humans invented a thing that can do what a diff does, because it's actually quite incredible.
I think it's pretty cool too, yeah. It does surprise me daily sometimes, especially you see some of the new stuff that comes out and the stupid ways some people do. Some engineers make things which they think should work, but sometimes it really doesn't, and
yeah,
they over-engineer one part and under-engineer something else. So it's still interesting every day. Like, I've been doing it for over 20 years and I still enjoy coming to work. It puts a smile on my face.
If you can come into work after 20 years and still love it, then the real question is, how do you get into doing this kind of work? For anyone watching at home that wants to work as an apprentice,
yep,
what makes a good one, what makes a bad one?
A good apprentice is one that listens to everything you say, doesn't think he knows everything, doesn't Google shit and think that Google knows more than what I'm trying to teach him. Even if my way is wrong, I want him to learn my way to do it.
Yeah. That makes sense, because it's your shop.
That's my shop.
Your recipe.
You want to do it your way, get your own shop.
The crown wheel is the big gear inside the diff that takes drive from the pinion gear on the tail shaft and turns it 90 degrees, sending power out to the axles in your wheels. It's the only piece of this that we need to keep, and now it's been liberated.
And you know where that goes?
Where does that go?
In the bin.
In the bin!
In the bin!
It's actually looking like the pinion seal here is okay, but at this point of the game, being that it's out of the car on the bench, we should just do it now, right?
Correct, yeah. We've gone this far, let's just change it. At least we're sure it's 100%, it's not going to be a problem.
The pinion seal does exactly what its name implies. It seals the diff's pinion gear, and its whole job is to stop diff oil from leaking out where the tail shaft bolts on.
All right, so this is a super early Hilux, which has actually a solid spacer in it, which is not collapsible, which means you can put a seal and rattle the nut back up, and it won't affect the preload of the diff.
Okay.
Which is a good thing. And these are actually good in most performance applications with high horsepower cars and a lot of traction. They collapsible ones tend to squash and move under like high loads, like drag racing launches, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas with a solid spacer, they can't do that.
Yeah, okay.
So that's actually a good upgrade.
Okay, nice.
Which is particularly standard for this particular car.
Oh, so it's already upgraded from the factory.
Yeah.
It seems counterintuitive, but the best way to get this seal out is actually hit it in, and then it flips just like that. That's a guy who's done this before. You know what I mean? Like when I'm thinking about taking a seal out, I'm hitting it this way.
Yeah.
You're hitting it back in because you know that with the right amount of hit, you're going to flip it, right?
It'll flip, correct. So now we will wash it all.
Yep.
Make it look pretty, and we'll put it back together.
Great. Is that me at a parts washer?
That's what I said.
Yeah. The parts are going through a multi-stage clean, which will give everything a freshen up. And here come those cooking baskets again, stacked up and straight into the washer. While arguably it's not as critical as putting an engine back together when it comes to cleanliness, we still need these parts to be neat and tidy. Old oil, crud and metal shavings can cause your diff to deteriorate quicker than it should. The washer blasts off all of that gunk with solvent, and then the parts will go through an automated hot wash in a separate machine. While that's getting cleaned up, we can get to work on our new LSD. With the cycle finished, now our parts are moved over to the hot washer. When it's time to reassemble, all of the components that we're reusing will have the best chance of living a long, happy life, fulfilling their destiny of spinning both wheels in my dirty old Hilux. Next up, the parts need to be dried thoroughly with a good blast of compressed air. Alright, so everything's been cleaned, everything's hot. What happens next?
Alright, so now we're going to install the crown wheel back onto the new hemisphere. And to do that, we're just going to set it in the vise here like so.
Yep.
We have a guide stud in here to locate the bolt holes with the new hemi, because they're usually much tighter than the factory ones. Yeah, so you open that up, give it a nice big open hole.
So under drive, the pinion gear spins a big ring gear. That's the crown wheel. Now the crown wheel doesn't just float around like Marty at a Subaru fan meet. It's attached directly to the hemisphere with a stack of chunky high tensile bolts that we're giving a good lick of Loctite to and then tightening up to very tight in a crisscross pattern. We've decided to give the diff housing a quick birthday, which means cleaning off any old goo and gasket, making sure that the mating surface is completely flat. And then it's getting painted black, and then we can start putting it all back together. But first off, we're doing a test run with the new bearings just to make sure that everything fits properly. Once that's all together, the pinion drives the crown wheel spins the hemisphere, it does some magic, and that's how all the power made by your ethanol charged boost gets sent out to your axles and spins both tyres. You've probably got the sense by now that it's a very messy job, but it's absolutely worth it.
Well, we've just done a test fit of the pinion with the bearings, just to test the preload, without the pinion seal in it, because if we'd done it with the seal and we had to take it all apart again, we might end up damaging the new seal and then have to replace it again. So, because it's got the solid spacer in this one, not the collapsible like I thought it would have, we're able to do it this way. Because when you've got a collapsible spacer, you can't do a dry run. Because once you collapse it, it's collapsed.
Yeah, well,
so you put it all together and it's just set and forget. Whereas with this one here, you can muck around with it.
With everything looking good, the whole thing can be put back together, starting with the pinion seal.
Alright, so now we're going to install the hemisphere into the case. We're going to set the backlash, then we're going to take a mark on it and hopefully it's all set and we can get going.
The True Track Diff is a relatively new invention developed in the 1970s by an American company in Michigan called TrackTech. And what they came up with was basically cheating physics. No clutches, no electronics, just clever little helical gears that shift torque to the wheel with grip. What that means is better launches, smoother corner exits, and way fewer one-tyre fry embarrassments. Because it's all gears inside, there's no clutch packs to burn out, no special fluids to mess around with, and it stays nice and quiet on the street. But let's be honest, this isn't about being nice and quiet, it's about going fast. Drifting, track days, drag racing, or just making sure your late night tofu run is properly powered. The True Track will take my 2.7 litres of turbocharged power and actually put it down to the road in stereo instead of wasting it all on a single spinning wheel. So now we've got to adjust the backlash, which is basically how much space there is between the gears so that it doesn't do this, which I gather would just wear it out, right?
Exactly, yeah, and if it's too much or too little, it could be noisy, it won't last, it won't have longevity, all sorts of issues, it'll thump on and off the throttle. Yeah, if they're not in the correct spot, they're never going to work properly.
Okay, so we use science for that.
Science, yes.
Yep,
yes.
So can you explain to me what's going on here?
So now we set the dial indicator up on the crown wheel tooth and we rock one way and then we rock it the other way. So we set that up on the 0.
So we're seeing a difference there of around 0.08 of an inch.
Correct.
And where do we want to be?
Pretty much on the mark there.
Yeah, okay.
That's on the money.
What I've learned over the years from modifying cars is that so much of the performance and enjoyability of your ride comes down to a proper setup. whether it's suspension, handling, brakes or engine tunes. And while bolt-on mods have their place of course, nothing beats the experienced hands and minds of the people that do this every day of the week. Now in our case, the backlash is the tiny bit of play between the crown wheel and the pinion gear. Too loose and it'll clunk around, but too tight and will cook the gears. But now it's time for some performance painting. Alright, so I've just Picasso'd this with some yellow paint. What's this going to tell us?
Well, this is going to tell us essentially where the gears are running in relation to each other. Obviously we want the correct contact pattern, or else, again, if it's marked not correct, it's going to be noisy on the throttle, noisy off the throttle, or noisy on and off the throttle, which is not really ideal for a road car.
Yeah, okay. So what are you looking for now?
So now what we'll do, we'll put some load on the pinion, like so, and we turn it, and that essentially tells us where the gears are running. So that's pretty much where the pinion is running in relation to the crown wheel, which is pretty much on the money, so it should be a nice quiet diff.
Perfect.
And with the new added extras, it should do nice two-wheel burnouts.
How cool is this, just making a diff? And it's so lovely down here, it's a real family business. Frank's wife's here as well, Dad's here, like it's just, I've had the best day, this is awesome. And then proper skids, like this is the best. I am far from a qualified mechanic, but I was very happy to be an apprentice today. I'm extremely curious about how different components work and the motivations of the people that build them and service them. I had never met Frank before today, but he was so welcoming and accommodating and really took his time teaching me about his craft. This diff really is the final piece of the puzzle of what has been an incredible build with this Hilux, and I'm stoked that I got to play such an integral part in putting it together. But now that it's complete, we can get the car to the dyno, spin up some numbers, and then most importantly take it for a drive and maybe even a cheeky little skid. And yes, Marty's welcome to bring his Gemini down too to see which of these cars is the best one from 1978. We have successfully upgraded our diff with an LSD. I'm very, very excited. A massive thank you to Frank and the team down here at Gearbox Express.
Thank you very much.
All of their socials and stuff are down below. How's it going to go, do you reckon, in the Hilux?
It'll go really good, you'll enjoy it. It'll be very reliable, it'll last you forever, and happy days, mate. And most importantly, two-wheel skids.
Two-wheel skids. Now, because this is a legitimate scientific resource, I hope that you've learned a lot during this video. While this is now going to go and get rushed into the Hilux, so we can actually get that finished, and then spin up some hectic power figures on the dyno, it would be remiss of us not to demonstrate what this kind of technology does with a car. So I'm wondering if maybe you have some way that you could demonstrate what this does in the real world.
Well, I do have a test vehicle that we could use, and I could show you the benefits of having two wheels that turn at the same time.